Well, if you're anything like me, you're a sucker for retro and nostalgic tech. I mean, I still have my original Game Boy Advance. I remember getting my Game Boy Color and playing Pokemon Blue and Pokemon Gold. And even in 2024 and 2025, I picked up one of these analog pockets to kind of help me relive what it's like to play my physical cartridges in 2025 with some modern glory. But when Apple last year opened up the App Store to allow for emulators to be legally downloadable, it really unlocked everything and it allowed you to have nostalgia right in your pocket on your smartphone. And while it is a virtual and digital screen and the haptics of something like Delta Emulator are fantastic, there seems to never really be a replacement for physical buttons. But now we're able to bring those physical buttons directly onto your iPhone with a single case. This is the Bitmo Lab GameBaby, and for just a simple case, there's really nothing better. Let's talk about it. Well, alright everyone, here we have the Bitmo Lab GameBaby, as you can see right here, and this is the packaging that you're going to receive when you do purchase one of these. Now, in terms of availability in which iPhones are supported by this, they support the iPhone 15 Pro Max, the 16 Pro Max, and then the 17 Pro and the 17 Pro Max. So it's a very specific set of iPhones, unfortunately, but still, if you do have one of those iPhones, I think this is an awesome gift. And it comes in two different colorways. You have this one, which kind of represents that Super Nintendo vibe with the gray and the white, and then also those color accents right there for the buttons. And then they also have this kind of like yellow and beige one, which is also very retro-y, but opening this up and unboxing this, very easy, very self-explanatory. Put this off to the side. You have the case itself, which we'll put right here. You have the paperwork, which is going to be important. We'll get back to that. And then you have the user manual that lets you know exactly how to use this thing and get it set up. Because there is a little bit of a setup process to get this going and get this going correctly. But just to kind of see what this looks like on the iPhones. So I'm using the regular iPhone 17 Pro right here. And the way that you put this on, again, this is a two-piece system. So you take this apart, works with a couple of clips. This part, of course, is going to house the top half. And you kind of put this on like you would any other case. Kind of slide it on and then flip it in. And then you do have it right there, and then the bottom piece just slides right into place, and you're gonna hear a little click. And once that's into place, this is what the case is gonna look like when you are using it day to day. So again, you have the bottom piece, which again doesn't do anything because these buttons, there's no connectivity, no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, no battery, no USB-C. These are just dead buttons when they're not being used. You're not gonna accidentally activate something on the front part of your screen. And this is what the case is, right? You have a nice little lip for the screen. It's not going to win any protection awards, but it is going to protect anything from scuffs, scratches, from some drops as well. You know, you have your cutouts right here for the USB-C and the speaker grills. You have some nice tactile buttons. You have your volume rocker, your action button right there. And then on this side, you do have your hold button as well as a cutout for the camera control. They don't have a cover for it, it's just a cutout. And of course, one thing to note, when you are flipping it around and you are gaming, you don't have access to your camera control button, but we'll touch on that in a little bit here. But now, the next most important thing here in terms of being able to set this up, the first thing you're gonna do is download this application, which I'm gonna leave linked down in the description. It is completely free. It's going to be called Delta Emulator. Delta Emulator is what allows you to, again, emulate these types of games. So if I go into my menu, we'll go to the main menu here. This is what Delta Emulator looks like. Again, completely free, and of course you're gonna have to download your ROMs onto here, the ROMs that you quote unquote own or anything like that. And definitely if you guys wanna find out how to find ROMs, just look it up on the internet. But it does support a bunch of different consoles, but the ones we're gonna be focusing on here is Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. But in terms of Delta Emulator, we have a whole video talking about how to use it, what it's like, but it supports Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and Nintendo DS. And you have a bunch of other options down here. But again, not a review about the Delta Emulator, just know that it does use Delta Emulator in order for this all to work and function. So then once you do have Delta Emulator downloaded, this is what you're gonna wanna do. You're gonna wanna go into this paperwork and scan this QR code. So the way Delta Emulator works when it comes to the controllers is, again, if I go back into my game, I'll resume here, this is going to be the default controller layout and the skin that comes with it, right? You can feel the haptic feedback. It looks kind of just like a purple Game Boy layout, nothing too crazy, your A, B buttons and things like that. But the way this case actually works is not with buttons that are connected via Bluetooth, it's with capacitive buttons. So if you've ever used one of those styluses or pens that have that kind of soft rubberized tip on the other end of it that works with your iPhone screen, that is what this is made of. So if you flip this over, you can see that each one of these buttons are very tactile, but they use that same material in order to interact with the display itself. So basically what it's doing is that it's mimicking or tricking the iPhone into thinking that you are using, your fingers to be able to actually use and activate these buttons, but in reality, using real tactile buttons, which is great to see. But if you look at these side by side, they don't line up. So you do need to download their custom skin, which is what that QR code is for. It comes included. Again, it's no additional cost. It comes with the price of admission. So you just download that skin, and I'm going to show you guys how to install that. So again, let's open up this QR code. We'll scan it right here. It'll take you where you need to go. So once you do scan that QR code, you're brought over to the video guide, and it gives you a step-by-step video on how to install everything from the installation process for the case like I'm talking about here, the emulator download, and then again, the skin download import. And if you scroll down here, you get the actual download. So it's very simple. You're gonna go in here, skin download, it's gonna let you know which one you wanna use. So if you have the retro and gray one, which is the one that we have, or the multicolor one, then you're gonna click on the GBC, NES, or GBA. So it does support up to 3 different devices. So it does support up to 3 different consoles, which is great to see. So once you figure out which one you're gonna download, let's say we wanna do Game Boy Color, we're gonna click on this, we're gonna save it into your files. So once it is downloaded, we'll go to the Delta application, we'll go into our settings, and then we're gonna select the controller skin section right here, click on the Game Boy Color version, tap on here, then you can see this little plus button. We'll tap on that plus button, we'll go and find the actual file that you downloaded. It's gonna be a zip file, I saved it onto my desktop, tap on that, we'll press open, and then the GameBaby Game Boy Color skin does show up. We'll tap on that, we'll get out of here, press done, open up a game, and now instead of that purple one that we had before, we now have this GameBaby case one ready to go. So when you do slide it, of course, this is gonna work without it, so you can tap it, you get haptic feedback as you can see. We're playing with it. I like to go into fast forward mode here. So it is moving even without it, but if you do want some physical buttons, all you do is slide this on, and then you're moving and playing with the actual physical buttons, which is absolutely insane, right? This is crazy. It's amazing how I was able to do it. You have your start, you can press your A, your B. This is a game that I actively play. This is like a ROM hack for Pokémon Crystal. I really, really like it. That's another thing about ROMs. You get to play games that don't even exist, just like kind of fan-made games. But you have your save button, your load button, your start, select. You also have your menu button, which is good to see. So you just have full control, and it's great for anybody that's just like looking to play with physical buttons on the go. And then when you're done, all you do is you take it off, slap it to the back, swipe up, get out of the game, and then you just have a normal case that you can use and even use it kind of as a fidget toy. So that is a GameBaby case. Some things to notice here, of course, because of the way this game or this case is kind of laid out, there are no MagSafe magnets. So if you are a big proponent or person that uses MagSafe magnets for accessories, you're gonna have to remove the case in order to use them. That is one thing, but again, that's the only real gripe that I've noticed about this case itself. Outside of that, it's a perfectly normal case that protects your phone that just so happens to also have a whole game controller behind it that doesn't require any additional batteries, doesn't suck up any extra battery, and overall, I'm just a very happy camper with this case. It'll be linked down below. Let's finish up the video. So as you saw, everybody, the GameBaby case is extremely simple, it's nostalgic, it checks off a lot of boxes, it's not going to break the bank, and it's just a fun accessory to have with your iPhone if you are somebody that, like myself, likes to play their games from years past, their nostalgic games, their Pokemon Game Boy Color games, even their Game Boy Advance games. So again, I think it's a no-brainer at the price point. It's very easy to use, very self-explanatory, very easy to set up. It's a one-time purchase, no batteries, no cables, nothing. It all just works directly on your iPhones the way that it was intended to be. So this is, again, the GameBaby. If you guys do want to check it out, I'll link it down below. But that'll do it for this video. If you did make it to the end, leave a little game controller actually in the comments down below for all the people that enjoy their retro gaming. And if you guys want to watch more videos like this one, like some of the new iOS stuff that's coming out, check out one of these videos right here. Until next time, I'm Fernando. Peace, everyone.